Hi everyone, this is Connor and this is a video series on understanding health, wellness and well-being, where we aim to define these words accurately, understand why they're different and see the connections and correlations between health, wellness and well-being. In part 1 we covered what is health, part 2 what is wellness, and now we're moving on to part 3, which is taking a look at what is well-being. So let's get started. For health and wellness, we looked at the following 3 primary sources in an attempt to establish the clearest definitions possible. For well-being, we're just going to focus on lexicology because when it comes to the scientific literature and authorities, there's no consensus on what well-being actually is. When you research this topic, you'll read about many of these ideas, including hedonia, eudaimonia and subjective well-being, amongst others. So what we might do is put together an extended summary of all these ideas, but for the purposes of this video series, the etymology and lexicology is where we find the most clarity, and that's what we're going to focus on today. Now, if you want to go ahead and explore this research yourself, here are 3 papers that I found useful as a starting point. We have A Theory of Public Wellbeing, Fisher 2019. We have Measuring Wellbeing, a Literature Review, Selwyn and Wood 2015. And we have The Challenge of Defining Wellbeing, Dodge et al. 2012. Let's begin then with the modern dictionary definitions of well-being. Here are 3 different entries with the problem highlighted in bold, and if you've watched part 1 and part 2 of this series, this is going to be pretty obvious to you now. We have Oxford English Dictionary definition of well-being: the state of being comfortable, healthy or happy. Collins English Dictionary: the condition of being contented, healthy or successful, welfare. And finally, Dictionary.com definition of well-being: a good or satisfactory condition of existence, a state characterized by health, happiness and prosperity, welfare. The problem here, of course, is, as you will know at this stage, circular defining. Here we have, once again, let's go to our diagram, words being defined in their synonyms. In this case, well-being is defined as some variation of health. And when we research health, we come across definitions like the one from the World Health Organization, where health is defined as complete physical, mental and social well-being. This just ends up sending us around in circles. Health is well-being, well-being is health, and so forth. This is not how words are correctly formed and defined. And with that being said, let's move on to see how this word well-being was formed by studying the etymology and lexicology. First up, well-being is a compound word consisting of the root adjective well and the gerundive of be. Gerundive is from Latin grammar. In this case, the English ing is added to the verb be to form the noun being. And being is defined as existence or the nature or essence of a person. Well, we have a short history here of well. It goes all the way back to Proto-Indo-European, and the definition of well is, or was, to wish, will. Next we move on to Proto-Germanic definition of well: as wished, as desired. Then we have Old English definition of well: abundantly, very, very much indeed, to be sure, with good reason, nearly, for the most part. The adjective then was added from Old English up to Middle English, but in Old English we have in good fortune, happy. Then into Middle English, agreeable, to wish or desire, is from the mid 15th century. And then finally here, more into the adjective form of the word, in good health, not ailing, is from the 1550s. Well-to-do, prosperous is recorded by 1794. Finally, into modern English, we have our adverb in a good or satisfactory way, and the adjective in good health, free or recovered from illness. Wrapping this up then to create a quick summary here. For most of its history, the adverb well has been defined as wished, as desired, abundantly, very, very much. It's not until we get to Middle English in the 16th century do we see the word health being directly associated with the adjective form of well. And using the adjective well, which we are defining in today's lexicon as in good health, does not suffice for a definition of well-being due to circular defining. And here's now when we have to use all of this information to see, can we create any accurate definition of well-being? So this is my attempt to do that, and although not lexicologically accurate, we can use the adverb well to define well-being. And here's how that looks. We'll take well, the adverb. Definition is as wished, as desired, or a more modern definition, in a good or satisfactory way. And then we can take being, the noun, meaning existence or the nature and essence of a person. Putting those two words together into our new compound word, the definition we come up with is desired existence or essence of a person. And right now, if I was to describe what is well-being, that is the definition that I have come to myself. And we're about to move on to the most important part of this series, which is putting all these concepts together into a coherent model. And another definition that can work for well-being is desired state or wished state. And that will become more clear as we move into our next video. But before I do that, I want to make a point about what we've covered thus far. Now, I'm not a lexicologist or a linguistic scientist, nor have I any background in those fields. So in that respect, I literally don't have an idea what I'm talking about here. But what I do know is that the current lexicographic and scientific definitions of these extremely important words, health, wellness, well-being, is currently completely inadequate, and they need to be redefined. One of the main reasons for this, in my opinion, is that the experts working in each of these respective fields of health, wellness, well-being are not fully aware of how these concepts are both different and interconnected. Therefore, before we get clear and accurate definitions of health, wellness, and well-being, we first need to create a model for how they interact. And that's exactly what I'm going to try and do and to cover in the next part of this series. And I hope you'll join me as we aim to put all those pieces together. So that being said, take care and all the best.